Sawasdee ka. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I hope you have a great day. All right. Well, because it's the late start day, so we have this video lesson on the Cambodia landmines, which is the very last topic that we're going to talk about. That involves Cambodia, right? We have talked about the overview, the history of Cambodia. We also talk about the Angkor Wat. We talked about the genocide, right? The Khmer Rouge genocide, and here's the landmines. Okay, and well, let's have a look at this my presentation. Well, landmines is a global issue, and that happens in Cambodia as well. Look at this big picture on the left hand. This is the billboard or the sign that is used to warn the local people not to go play with the landmines, not to go near them. And this is placed in one of the local area of Cambodia. And the second one, this is the smaller picture of the mines that has already been exploded. And these are placed in the landmines museum, the local landmine museum in Cambodia as well, in the capital city. Okay, I'll look at the next one. Here's the issue. Okay, there were nearly 40,000 people in Cambodia who suffered from landmines in 1979. There was an estimated number of 4 to 6 million unexplored landmines in Cambodia, and at this rate it would take about 100 years to clear all the landmines in Cambodia. Okay, landmines is a global issue, not only in Cambodia but also 78 nations, 78 countries around the world are also suffering from the landmines as well. The international campaign to ban landmines estimates that there are tens of millions of landmines in the ground in 78 countries, which will take about 1,100 years to clear all of them. UNICEF estimates that about 30 to 40% of the mine victims are children under 15 years old. The landmine cost as little as $3 to produce, but it costs as much as $1,000 to clear per one mine. Okay, and this is the picture of the deminers trying to detect the landmine. Well, let's look at what is a landmine. Okay, a landmine is an explosive that is buried just below the surface of the ground to keep enemy soldiers from crossing into one's territory. The landmine explodes when someone steps the ground above it. It usually destroys the person's legs and, let's go back, and even kills a small child. Look at this picture. This boy was lost his leg because of the landmine as well. Well, if an adult stepped on the landmine, and well, it usually just injured the person, but the problem is that the injured person could not get to the hospital quick enough, which is often the case in Cambodia. So normally they would die, right? And over half of the victims survive and become an amputee. And Cambodia has over 35,000 amputees, right? And out of every 340 people is an amputee in Cambodia. Look at this one, the anti-personnel mines. right? This type of mines are designed to kill or injure an individual or person as opposed to destroying vehicles. The anti-personnel mines exploded from contact or the presence of a person. They are often designed to injure rather than kill, causing injuries like blindness, burns, destroyed limbs, and sharpened wounds. Some types of anti-personnel mines can also damage tracks or wheel of the armored vehicles as well. If I go too fast, just stop the video, right? Here's another type of landmines. This is what we call the anti-tank mines. They were created not long ago after the invention of the tank in the First World War. They set off when a tank passes over and are developed to prevent enemy's army from moving the anti-tank mines, as they can immobilize and or destroy the vehicles and the people who are in it. The anti-tank mines are typically larger than the anti-personnel mines and require more pressure to explode. Okay. Mines are planted in war zones. They may be laid by hand or seeded from an aircraft or by artillery. Mines may be laid around the village or along the road, on bridges, on riverbanks, in the fields, or even in the forest. Many mines float so that after heavy rains, they are found in an unexpected location, right? After heavy rains, as we all know that Cambodia has wet season and also dry season as well. So when heavy rain comes, it can float to wherever they go. Mines continue to be very dangerous even if they have been on the ground for a long time. When the military conflict ceases, mines remain hidden in the ground and a threat to the people who work in the fields and walk on the roads. So if you were villagers and happen to walk by it, you might be at risk as well. And that happens in Cambodia. Look at this map. This is the mine explosive remnants of war, right? That's around the world. Because the clearing of mines is very expensive, so in many places, fields and sometimes entire villages remain mined for years after conflicts. Well, the presence of landmines severely threatens people's life and also prevents the country's economic growth and development. Long after the wars was over, the landmines make the land unusable for farming, school, or even for the people who lives in the area. Landmine and Cluster Munition Monitor reported that in the year 2001, there were 813 landmine casualties and 232 were children. And each day, every day, right, 2 to 3 people stepped on a landmine in Cambodia while they are carrying water, going to school, or trying to earn a living. And 95% of them are civilians. However, the number of casualties has been decreasing over the past years. In 2009, there were only about 244 casualties. Of this number, 47 were killed and 197 injured. Local people know the place where the mined area are, so they stopped going there, and some areas are now cleared and no new landmines are being planted. So there's been no fighting in Cambodia since 1999, when the last Khmer Rouge units defected to the government. And in that same year, the Cambodia ratified the mine ban treaty, and since then no new mines are being laid. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is the map of where the landmines were planted. Okay, how are they removed? How are the landmines removed? Okay, a person who removes landmines is called a deminer. Well, that person would lie on her stomach and probes the ground inch by inch, just like this man is doing. Well, they would probe the ground inch by inch with a knife, hoping to touch the side of the landmine. When that person discovers one, he or she would carefully uncovers it and removes it for destruction. And most landmines are made of plastic, so they cannot be found with a metal detector. Driving a big demining machine over the land only works on an open sandy soil like a desert, and it doesn't find all the mines. Trained dogs are very good at finding landmines with their keen sense of smell. Okay. Well, Akira, the deminer. Well, we're going to have a look at this man's life. His name is Akira, and he is a Cambodian by nature, and well, he was an orphan child by the Khmer Rouge. He was a child soldier first for the Khmer Rouge in the early 1980s. His parents were killed by the Khmer Rouge, and the Khmer Rouge took him over and raised him as a soldier, right? Then after the Vietnamese army invaded, he was also the soldier for the second half of that decade as well. And then he was also a soldier for the Cambodian army beginning in 1989. Well, in 1995, he began clearing and collecting mines, and he works in Siem Reap and other provinces nearby, and much of his work is in Poipet area near the Thai border. He also set up a landmine museum, the one that we saw in the very first picture. He set up this landmine museum, and there were a lot of tourists coming to the landmine museum as well. And we're going to look at that very soon. I think we should go and have a look at the video clip of Akira.
No one is perfect. All of us are flawed and in need of redemption in one way or another. Some of our indiscretions are small, and usually an apology can set things right. But other acts are so painful that redemption seems nearly impossible. In those cases, it just takes your breath away when someone is brave enough to try and right a wrong. This is what Akira does every day in Cambodia. He quietly walks through the villages, searching the ground, getting on his hands and knees to clear landmines. Landmines that he was forced, as a child soldier, for the Khmer Rouge to bury. So far, he's removed 50,000 mines. But that's not all he does. When he walks through the villages, he meets children who've lost limbs and parents to mines. So he built a home for 30 orphans and says, I will love you as my own. Redemption is beautiful, dangerous, never-ending work, and a hero never fears it.
When we use a metal detector to find the mine, we move a little bit by a little bit. If we make mistake with the landmine, blow up, kill or injure. When we hear something, the sound like mine, we have to prod it slowly and dig it slowly. Many thousand landmines I cleared. I am 100% safe, I think. កាលខ្ញុំពីតូចគេបានសម្លាប់ពុកម្ដាយបងប្អូនអស់ហើយខ្ញុំក៏រស់នៅជាមួយពួកខ្មែរក្រហមនៅតូចៗគេបានបង្រៀនខ្ញុំឲ្យចេះដាក់មីនដោះមីនតាំងពីអាយុ4-10 ឆ្នាំអត់ដឹងខុសត្រូវប្រហែលទេដូចថាធ្វើអ្វីអាក្រក់ធ្វើអ្វីល្អហើយខ្ញុំដឹងថាពីមុនវាអត់ល្អដល់ឥឡូវខ្ញុំធំហើយខ្ញុំរៀនសូត្រហើយស្វែងយល់បានច្រើនក្មេងៗមានច្រើនគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដោយសារគ្រឿងនឹងមីនពីមុនមក
He was a child soldier. He fought in 3 armies. He knew nothing but war until he was in his early 20s. But now he's clearing one landmine at a time.
ឥឡូវគឺខ្ញុំចង់ជួយស្រុកខ្មែរខ្ញុំចង់ជួយក្មេងៗកសាងប្រទេសជាតិឡើងវិញជាមនុស្សល្អក៏បានជួយសង្គ្រោះក្មេងពិការដូចខ្ញុំ
We've got 30 children who live here at this relief center, this orphanage, and every child that he's brought in is going to have a better life.
តេតកាលអាចលុបបំបត្តិបានយឺតប៉ុន្តែអាចធ្វើទៅបានព្រោះតែយើងខំប្រឹងទាំងអស់គ្នាអស់មីននៅស្រុកខ្មែរយើង
Last year his organization put 2,400 people back on land that had been killing them in the past. They cleared 163,000 square meters of land. He's saving lives in every village that he works in, every landmine he pulls out. He is the epitome of one person making a difference.
Even one landmine that we cleared, it make better peace, step by step.
Please join me in honoring CNN hero Akira.
Yes, my name's Akira. I have never been chosen for anything except to be a soldier. I want to thank CNN for this honor. I want to thank Bill, my Babu, for nominating me. I want everyone around the world to know that landmines are still killing and injuring people in Cambodia and around the world. They will only be removed with your help. I would like to say special thanks to someone who is not here. My wife, Bu Sinh Huot, who died last year. សូមអរគុណច្រើនដល់បងប្អូនជនជាតិខ្មែរយើងទាំងអស់ដែលបានជួយគ្រប់គ្រងខ្ញុំបាទមីនមួយជីវិតមួយ one mind one life thank you
Okay, here's the billboard of the Landmine Museum, right? Said, welcome to the Landmine Museum. Well, this museum was founded by an ex-soldier, Akira, as we know. It's the way that he could use to tell the world the horrors of the landmines. Okay, wherever he goes, he would try to get rid of the landmines, all right, wherever he could find them. And in the process of clearing small remote villages, he began to bring home with some of the children who has been wounded, you know, and orphan children that lost their parents because of the landmines, and they bring home those children, all right, and raise them as his own children. Nowadays, the landmines is home to nearly 36 wounded, handicapped, poor, and orphan children, and all are hosted, fed, schooled, and given future they would otherwise may never have. These are all the landmines that he found. Okay, well, the Landmine Museum, what activities are going on in the Landmine Museum? Well, the activity would include to provide education and training to rural people about the landmines, safety, clearing mines and unexploded ordnance from various provinces in Cambodia, and also they train soldiers to deactivate the landmines and clear landmines from the countryside, and they also provide home and school for the amputee of the children, the survivor from the landmines. Okay, and now I'm going to show you the video on how Akira work on landmine clearing. Okay.
This is my landmine museum. I go to clear mine for 5 days per month, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, and I clear around here, but now I clear Thai border also. This is the PMN2, the name of this mine. It's made from Russian. This mine used by Cambodian government army and Vietnamese army. When they lay in the ground, they never put deep, they just bury a little bit. But in the jungle it's very hard to see because many grass, many leaf, and if they step about 5 or 10 kilo, the weight explodes. When I clear, I just use this. I don't have metal detector, I just dip it about 1 or 2 kilo. This is my landmine museum that I made to show you about what the minefield look like, but it's safe, not dangerous in here. And I want to tell you about the mine that have in the field like this. Yeah, it's the mine, yeah, like this. But some mine we never see in the ground, yeah, like this. when I diffuse mine, I just do like this. When it have the tree like this, no mine in, but no grass, no like this. We have to check like this. Yeah. This is pineapple one. Yeah, we have to be careful. And sometimes have the wire like this. Yeah, it's mine. We just dip it carefully like this. But we be careful on the top, but we do a little bit like this, no problem. Yeah. Just dip it like this. Yeah. Sometimes still have water like this, but inside is very new, very clean. Just outside look like old, but still dangerous. 50 years still explodes, not throw. When we have the mine like this, we have to diffuse. Be careful about on the top. Don't make pressure. And just do like this, no problem. And we have to diffuse in here. Yeah. In here have the TNT fuse we take off. Yeah, make it safe.
You take that one off first?
Yeah, first. Yep. And this also. The poster, yeah, small poster in here we take off also. Yeah, also one fuse in here with the spring. Yeah, we take spring and fuse in here, take off, and then it's safe. Just like this. Plastic, they bury in the ground. It's hard to see when we step. Blow up one bit here. Yeah. Plastic and the TNT inside. Yeah. It's cheap to make, but yeah.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Anh ấy cái thơ máy cái chậm dây tới anh ấy xong đòn đấy tụทั้งเหงือกพอหรือบัวพองนะแกหามินสโนว์โบร์ดอันนี้he lose leg 3 or 4 years ago with a landmine when he walked in the jungle to find the cow or to shoot some bird. Just go for a walk near his house, and then he walked 4 boys in front and 1 girl behind him. All 5 people walk, 5 children, and then 1 boy in front. He saw the mine like this. He don't understand, and he tried to take this mine to show his friend like Mr. God now. And when he take, and then Mr. God, he heard boom, explodes. When it explodes, he don't understand anything, and then all 3 boys in front die, and he stand number 4. He lost leg. Mr. God, yeah, lost leg. And 1 girl stand behind him, lose hand also. Injured 2 and 3 die. People, yeah, and journalists, newspaper, magazine, something like that, and television people, yeah, they come to support me, yeah. And I'm thank you a lot for local people that come to visit my museum, and they said it's good museum, yeah, and the newspaper or journalists or yeah, television, yeah, cameraman, thank you that they come to help me and they support me. Yeah, thank you a lot.
Apart from Akira himself, there are other 3 main organizations working to clear landmines in Cambodia. The first one is the Cambodia Mine Action and Victim Assistance Authority, or CMAA. The second one is the Mine Advisory Group, or MAG, right? And this is the place where they are trying to clear, they are working, trying to clear the landmines. And also there's the Halo Trust, all right? You can also visit these websites, the websites, to look at how they help with the attempt to clear the landmines. Okay. Well, let's talk about should landmine be used, right? Well, as we all see, we can see the negative effect of landmines already, but some people still like landmines. Those people who in favor of the landmines are the business people that profit from the selling of the landmines, right? And also the military as well. The landmines mine or kill thousands of civilians each year, every year. And the victims have a lifetime physical, psychological, and economic hardship. How can we help? How can everyone help? Well, there's an organization called the International Campaign to Ban Landmines. Well, it's trying to encourage countries to support a treaty banning the use, projection, stockpiling, and transferring of anti-personnel landmines. And in 1997, the treaty was signed by 147 countries and became law. The countries may no longer sign it, but they can also choose to support it. The United States does not support the ban on landmines at all. And this is the Landmine Relief Fund. Okay, this is the website where Akira is working, and you know, it's based in Cambodia, you know, Cambodia Landmine Museum and work of Akira. If you are interested in this website and the Akira himself, you can just go onto the Landmine Relief Fund. And Miss Anderson, I think if you have time, she can help you with the, you know, just go and look at the website and you can find a lot of information. You can also look at Akira's story. It was a very, very sad story of his life as well. Okay, right. One more thing I'd like to tell you is that this is the last topic for the country of Cambodia. So I'm gonna have you guys to write 800-word reflection on this Cambodia lesson. Right? And in your journal, your writing should include a summary of what you have learned from the beginning relating to Cambodia. You might want to include the Cambodia history, everything you learned about Angkor Wat, about the Cambodia, the Khmer Rouge genocide, and also with the landmines. You know, and please do some additional research and discussion on a topic you have found interesting. You know, you might be interested in the life of Akira, or a person like Van Nath, or Dit Pran, or something else, somebody else, or some other topics, you know, related to Cambodia. And I'll give you about 6 days to finish this one. This assignment is due on Sunday, the 11th at 8 p.m. your time. So please make sure you organize your time well, because I give you 6 days already. So, and that will come to me on Monday, 8 a.m. here, and I will be able to do some assessment on your reflection. Okay, and I hope you have fun for the rest of the day until I see you again next time. Okay, bye bye. สวัสดีค่ะ